JDBC, we understood about statement and prepared statement. When to use statement and when to use prepared statement. Tell me.
Prepared statement is for executing same query multiple number
Yes.
of times.
When you are executing same query multiple number of times, it is better to use prepared statement rather than statement, because whenever you are using prepared statement will send some information to the server and ask it to cache the compiled version of the query. So from second time onwards it will be fast. And even while using, you can create a query with using question marks here like this, and you can set the values for the question marks dynamically by using prepared statement, right? So it is sometimes better to use statement and sometimes it is better to use prepared statement. Okay, there is another thing called callable statement for calling stored procedures, right? But that is not there for you, I am not covering it. So if somebody asks what is callable statement, callable statement is for calling stored procedures on the database, that's it. Okay, now by using execute update we can fire DDL statements like create we have fired, insert update we have fired. Similarly you can fire delete query also by using execute update method. Okay, then now what I want to do is I want to fire a select query. Let us see how to fire a select query very quickly, then we'll see the rest of things like transactions, etc. Now I will write a method called get all employees public. First see here, I am writing a method public list of employees. Now you know generics, so I am writing list of employees, get all employees. Now it should return a list of all employees. So make it a habit. See, I don't proceed to the next line if I find an error. I don't like red mark here. So what I do is at least write return, add return statement, at least add return null. Later I will modify what to return here. So it's a very good practice to make sure that there will be no errors whenever you proceed. Okay. So what I'll do is here now, I will copy these three statements, or I'll do it from the first. What query I want to file? Select star from employees. String SQL is equals to select star from employee is the table. Yeah. So now what I am going to do is I am going to use prepared statement. So first I need to get a connection. To get a connection, driver manager dot get connection. Same thing I'll use. It is throwing an exception, I'll throw it. Now connection dot prepare statement, I will use that same SQL. So I prepared a statement. So I will take it in a reference of prepared statement. Then prepare statement dot execute. To file a select query you have execute query. The return type of it is result set. Result set from Java SQL again. Result set RS is equals to. Okay, see here, I got a result set. Result set is very much similar to iterator we have used in collections. So to iterate over the result set, you have to use like this: while rs dot result set dot next and rs dot get int. At the first column I find select star from EMP. I will be getting all the columns of employee. First column is of type int, employee ID is of type int, so I use get int and pass the column index. See here, there are two overloaded getInt methods, one which is taking column index and one which is taking column label. So I can use a column index, column number 1, column number 2, or better to use column label. It will be without confusions. Column label is what? EMP ID. So I will take it in int ID is equals to. Similarly, result set dot get string. The column label is name. I will take it in string. And a third column is again int, so I will use rs dot get int salary. So I will take it again in int salary is equals to. Okay. Now when I fire the select star from employee, I will be getting more than one employee, more than one row. So what I do is, for each row I will create an object of employee by using this. I will add a list. So before the while loop, I am going to add a list. Array list of employee list is equals to new array list. Then here in the while loop, for each row, what I am doing is I am creating an employee object. Employee is equals to new employee e dot set employee ID, and I have ID which I got from the database. Similarly, I will call setter methods e dot set name e dot set salary. So I set everything, then I will add to the list employee list dot add employee, then I will return the employee list. See here, I will explain now everything what is happening. Whenever I file a query, to file a select query I have to use execute query method, you will be getting a result set. So whenever you get result set will be pointing to -1th row. Suppose after filing this query I got 10 rows. Result set will be pointing to -1th row. Just like iterator also was pointing to -1th row. See now similarly result set also will be pointing to -1th row whenever I get a result set. rs dot next, what it will do is it will check whether there is next row or not in the result. If there is next row, what it will do is it will move the result set to next location. Now it will enter inside the loop. For the first time, when it is inside the loop, result set will be pointing to first row, right? When it is pointing to first row, I want to get a column whose name is employee ID. So, but employee ID is int, so that's why I call result set dot get int. According to the type of the database column, you can use corresponding getter methods. Okay, but name is a varchar. Corresponding thing in Java is string. So result set dot get string name. Similarly, get int salary, because salary is int. Like that, I got all the three. By using these three, I create an employee object. I add employee object to employee list.
So what if we replace get int with get string?
Get int with get string. You will be even though you are getting even though your column is int database, you will be getting it like a string, no problem.
But there will be a difference in output.
When you want to print, only print, it doesn't matter whether it is string or int. If you want to only print, but like if I want to set here employee set employee ID, it requires int. If you say get string here, okay, that is not any error. But again, when setting it here to employee ID, I have to convert that string to int. How do you convert string to int? There is a method called integer dot parse int, right? Okay, that we'll see later. This is the way I have written select query. Any doubts here? I want to insert 100 employees now, right? I want either all the 100 employees to be inserted or none of the employees to be inserted. What do you call this type of things? I want everything to be succeeded or fail. Transaction. Now tell me the definition of what do you mean by a transaction? What is a transaction? You might have learned about transactions in your SQL also. What is a transaction and how do you start a transaction in SQL? How do you end the transaction in SQL? Tell me your SQL knowledge. What is a transaction?
Saying something and getting a reply.
What is it?
Convey something, get set of operations. Set of operations
Set of operations.
that need to be completed together.
Yes. Not concurrent. Your meaning is almost nearby. I don't know. Don't use that word commit. Okay, you can use it, but I want the definition without using it.
A set of instructions that lead to some kind of change.
Okay, I'll tell you. Transaction, to simply define it, it's a unit of work. Now you want to insert 10 employees, then all the 10 employees should be inserted or insertion of all of them should fail. So you want to treat 10 statements as a single unit of work. You want the whole unit to succeed or fail. Let me give an example of a transaction. Suppose you have a HDFC bank account, right? Suppose you want to transfer funds from one account to other account. Okay, what you do, you log into your website and then try to transfer. Okay, let's assume that one of you are transferring amount to him. Okay. Tell me, if I am writing a program which will transfer, suppose if I wrote a program for your bank, what are the steps involved in transfer of money? Suppose in your account there is 50,000. Okay, in your account there is 10,000 only. You are trying to transfer 15,000. Should it be possible? Yes. Suppose one wants to transfer money to TR's account. So what are the steps involved in it? Huh? First step is, if he is having 10,000 and he tries to transfer 15,000, should it be allowed? No. So first step in transferring amount is check the balance, right? So you have to file a select query and then get the balance from the database. Okay, check the balance, and after this deduct the amount from your account. Then third step is credit the amount inside the other account, right? 3 steps. Then what will happen if amount is debited from your account, but before the amount is credited into your friend's account, if something happens like power shutdowns, power is gone, what will happen? Money is deducted from your account but not credited into his account. So what will happen? The amount should be again credited into your account. It should not be debited, right? So now there are 3 things: filing a select query, debiting from the account, crediting into other account. These 3 things should be treated as a single unit. All of them should fail or all of them should succeed, right? So unit of work is nothing but transactions. Sometimes you want to execute some updates or insert as a single unit of work, right? So you need to start a transaction. In SQL, how do you commit a transaction? By using commit. How do you start a transaction? How do you start a transaction in SQL Start Plus? You find a lot of insert queries, right? But you finally committed, or you might have rolled back also. But how to start a transaction in SQL Start Plus? In your client. It's also a client program, right? SQL Start Plus is a client program. My Java program also is a client program. See, for SQL Star Plus, by default, transaction is started. Transaction is on. It will not automatically commit. For SQL Star Plus client, whatever queries you fire will not be automatically committed. But for a Java client, whatever statements you fire, they are automatically committed by default in Java. Whenever you are using JDBC API, by default they will be auto committed. Immediately after firing such query, it will be automatically committed. But whereas in your SQL Star Plus client, you have to say commit, otherwise they will not be committed, right? So in Java, if you want to start a transaction, what you need to do is simply connection dot set auto commit false, means auto commit is false. Automatically everything should not be committed. Okay. Then what you can do is you can execute the statements here. You can execute the statements whatever you want here. Then finally, see what I can do is I can write a try catch block. See, try catch block I wrote. I can write whatever statements I want as a unit of work to be inside a try block, right? While executing second statement, if any exception occurs, what will happen? The control will come here to, from here to here, right? Third and fourth statements will not be executed, right? But if everything if all the four statements run successfully, what I do is I'll say connection dot, very good, connection dot commit. And if any exception occurs while executing the above four lines, I should roll back. So in the catch block, what I'll do is I'll say connection dot roll back. So to start a transaction, you have to say connection dot set auto commit false. This is the boundary for your transaction, this line, and from here transaction starts and here it will commit or roll back. If all the four statements here execute successfully without any exception, it will be committed, this also will be executed, otherwise it will be rolled back. This is how to manage transactions. Okay, I'm just telling whatever is required for you right now very quickly for doing this example. Okay. Now next thing what I want to do is I want you to write the code. See, write a separate class. I think already you have written a program for reading the files and keeping them in an employee objects in a list, right? If you have not done also, do it quickly, or if you have done it, copy paste the code, same code inside a new file. Okay, and then what you want to do is you iterate over the list. You fire the insert query for all these employees, save them into database. Now what I want is, I want all the employees to be either successfully inserted or none of the employees should be inserted. So I want you to use transactions here also. And second thing is what I want to do is I want you to file a self query and I want you to display all the records from your database. This is the assignment. Come on, do it. I'll tell you the problem statement again. See, assume a file like this: 1001, Shiva, salary. See, this is one employee record I am writing in a file. Like that, write some employee records: 2002, whatever, XYZ, the salary. So like that, I write a file which is having employee details in each row. You know how to read this file line by line. Read the line. For each line you create an employee object, split it and create an employee object, store them in array list. You have done until this already. Now what you have to do is continue the same program, iterate over the list, get each employee object, save in the database, inside the database. But again what I want to do is, I want to use transaction. I want all the employees to be inserted or everything should fail. When it will fail, suppose if I, instead of salary, if I give some string here, it will try to insert string for a int inside the database. this statement will fail. If I give something like this, none of the employees should be inserted. Okay? So write the program now. Yep. See here, I have written the program. I have this in file, and once I run the program, I got all the things into the database. See here and then do this. This is the code for reading from the file and setting it into database. And this is the code for saving the list into database.